Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast. Let's go to John chapter 10. This is John chapter 10, verse 11 through 13. Goes a little something like this. Jesus is speaking here and he says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So, when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons his sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. That's the word of the Lord. Now, growing up in Metro Detroit as I did, as a suburbanite through and through, I know very little about taking care of sheep and shepherding. Didn't grow up on a farm. The depth of my knowledge when it comes to sheep and shepherding is that's where blankets come from, and that's where cotton balls in aspirin bottles come from. Like that's all I've got. Like that's it. But the more that I've studied and read about shepherding and that imagery for Jesus, the more I appreciate it as a great image, as a great motif, as a great representation of Christ. We all know Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures, he restores my soul. And the idea in Psalm 23 and here in John 10 is that Jesus is the shepherd. He's the guy who's in charge of the sheep, protecting them, feeding them, guiding them, directing them away from danger, directing them toward safety and good pasture, and that his role as shepherd is sort of a lord role, not sort of, it is a lordship role, and then you and I are the sheep. Now, I know in our culture today it's a put-down to talk about people as sheeple. If you talk about somebody being a sheeple, it means that they're not thinking, they're just following blindly. Well, this is where being a sheep is actually honest, because, spiritually speaking, I do not have what it takes to care for myself through and through. I do not have what it takes to get myself in a right relationship with God. I do not have what it takes to get myself into this kingdom of righteousness. Only Jesus can do that. Only Jesus, the Good Shepherd, can do that. So I need him. And the thing that makes him a good shepherd is not just that he's good at his job or does an extra special job of caring for the sheep or never dozes on the job. That's not what his resume says at all. The thing that makes Jesus a good shepherd is that he lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand bolts, runs away, and for good reason. The hired hand is thinking, boy, should I risk my life to protect these sheep? Or should I run for it and maybe come back and try again tomorrow? I mean, that's a logical thing to do. We can't fault him for that. Jesus doesn't do the logical thing because the logic of the kingdom of God is counter to all of the logic of this earth. So today, I'll just sort of leave you with the question that I'm pondering. Who gets to shepherd my soul today? Who gets to shepherd me? Is it me? Is it some other force? Or is it Jesus, the Good Shepherd? That's the question. That's RadCast.